Year 6, so hopefully you enjoyed that model text and have come away from it with a better understanding of who refugees are and what sort of emotions they might feel. So as I've said already, in this unit, we will be using the key skill dashes. So I'm just going to briefly outline now what dashes are and when they're used. Now, obviously, we've covered dashes in units 1 and 2 this year, so hopefully you already have a good understanding of what they are. So this is just hopefully a recap. So dashes are used to add extra information to a sentence, and they're the punctuation shown on the right of the screen there. And they can either separate two independent clauses, which make sense on their own, or add a subordinate clause, which doesn't make sense on its own, to a main clause. And we can add dashes at the end of a sentence or in the middle, and it's absolutely fine either way. So you've got the first example here, Mr. Munnings, dash, who was inspecting the line, dash, turned to look at me, and you've got the subordinate conjunction who being used there. And in the second example, the room was cold, dash, which was not surprising as it was winter. And both are absolutely fine. In the second example, just take note that the main clause is the room was cold, which is at the beginning. So in the normal lesson now, there'll be a talk task where you are asked to up-level the sentences below by adding in dashes. So this might be a really good opportunity now for you to consolidate your learning just by trying it at home. So first example here, John watched a scary film called Bride of Frankenstein last night. So you might do, John watched a scary film called Bride of Frankenstein last night, dash, which meant he wasn't able to go to sleep on time. Or the second example, Prince Harry, son of Prince Charles, served in the British Army. So this time you might do Prince Harry, dash, son of Prince Charles, dash, served in the British Army. There are two different examples of ways you can up-level the sentences here, so have a go at that at home. Now on this slide here, I'm going to put a link to you on Seesaw of a video which provides more information about refugees, and hopefully while watching it, please just watch the first minute and 40 because the second bit about CAFOD is not relevant, and hopefully you can watch it and have some information, better information about what emotions a refugee might feel. But even if you can't access that at home, I've got a list here on the side of some emotions which came to mind while I watched the video. So you've got here lonely, scared, and they might be lonely because sometimes they may be separated from their family on the journey, scared because it's a new experience for them, again, terrified, upset, depressed, because they might be missing their home, missing their friends at home, missing their home country, fatigued. Now this means extremely tired because often they don't get a normal sleep in, they don't have access to comfortable beds, might be extremely cold when they're traveling, desperate for food, desperate for a bed, hungry, nostalgic, which means they miss their home and their previous life, devastated, which is extremely upset or angry, and again, homesick. Now, in the normal lesson here, now I'd give you a fact file about refugees, and I'm going to come back to that fact file in a second because what we're going to do for our independent task today is essentially up-level some of these facts about refugees using dashes, but focusing on the emotions which a refugee might feel. So I'll just outline a bit of information here. So the task, as it says here, write sentences about the emotions which a refugee might feel, but again, using dashes to up-level the sentences. So going back to this slide, so, for example, the first one is a definition of a refugee. So refugees are people who've been forced to leave their country to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. You can up-level that by saying, putting a dash at the end and saying which makes them feel extremely upset or which leaves them feeling very nostalgic. Or another example here, most children leave their home with their family, but some are alone and seek the help of other refugees. Perhaps you could just up-level by changing that comma to a dash there. So most children leave their home country with their family, dash, but some are alone and seek the help of other refugees. Or you might mention the next fact which is before refugees reach their final destination, they often have to stop in, it's already a dash in there, so you don't even need to up-level that one. But perhaps you can add another dash at the end as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how you manage to up-level these sentences here, discussing the emotions which a refugee might feel using these facts, but also facts which you ascertained from the video which we watched earlier. So I'm looking forward to seeing your work, Year 6. Please do look on Seesaw to see this fact file and see the links for the videos as well. Bye.